Yeah, Tim will be joining me here shortly in the next few minutes. He said, quote unquote, I'm dealing with some shit, so no idea what that means. So he told me to go ahead and get this webinar started. Was waiting it out for him to get the webinar started, but he's nowhere to be found as of right now. So hopefully he'll be joining us here soon. Still in Positano. Also have Andy with me too. Andy, you want to say what's up, man?
Yeah, I'll say what's up.
He'll say what's up.
What's up, guys? How's everyone doing?
How's everyone doing? Special guest Andy, new six-figure trader for anyone that hasn't watched the recap or was at last week's webinar. Went through a lot of good stuff. So if you guys want to know more about Andy, definitely watch that previous webinar from last week, which is archived and always the best thing to learn from. So how's everybody's days going? How's everybody's week going? Are people green? Are people red this week? Does anyone want to talk about any trades? For me personally, I'm in. Let's see if I can switch over to my screen here. All right, can you guys see my screen now? I'm long this MAXN from the mid 23s. And I've been watching this stock for a while. Made about $100,000 on it last week during this run. Made some money on it. Was up unrealized, then ended up taking a loss, but re-adding into it today. And it just is a beautiful chart. Absolutely gorgeous chart. Trading hundreds of millions of shares every single day. Traded 520 mil, 493, 233, 246, 355. So for a stock to trade this much volume consistently, that's what is on my radar. Something like OPTT, people will look at this chart and they'll see how nice that it looks. But look, it's missing volume. 4 million volume, 9 million, 47 million, 10 million, 24 million. Look, one day it had 600 million and it ran really well, but it just doesn't have enough volume. MAXN has the volume that it's trading volume every single day. So that's why I'm long this stock. This is why this is my favorite setup. And I really think I'm going to absolutely crush it on this stock. My spidey senses are tingling on it. And I'm just going to continue to keep holding. Great alert in the seven-figure cycle. Actually started it here yesterday. And then added some more here and added some more here. So around a 24 average over under. Got a great support level now at 23. Very happy about the trade. Absolutely royally f***ed up GME. GME, I ended up buying it a few days ago at 25.44. And then it started going up, going up, going up, going up. And last night I took a really bad ad up here near 29.55. So I moved my average up to the mid 27s. And then cut losses below that pre-market support on this breakout. So I lost a couple dollars a share, so I was up a couple dollars a share. And now I just have, nothing to show for it when I was in from 25 and made a few thousand. But so grindy, was hoping that it would kind of ignite up. Seeing a nice move on MAXN, doing relatively big volume now, almost 1 million shares a minute. So big volume. This is a solar company. So I'm kind of watching these solar companies. Another one that's kind of in a range is ASTI, right around 10 cents. This is Accent Solar. This is MAXN Solar. So these solar stocks have been running. I'm not sure why. Tesla's been obviously on the move, an EV play on the move. I don't know if this has anything to do with these solar plays, but seeing a great breakout here on MAXN all the way up into the 26s from yesterday's resistance. Tim just texted me, said Andy's a seven-figure trader, not six. I thought I said seven-figure. Did I say six-figure or seven-figure?
You said six.
Sorry, buddy.
It's all right. I took a big loss and now I'm at six again. No, I'm playing.
Green week, let's go. Trying to have patience with Maxim. Good job, Bonkrock. Tim said, You been doing any fishing? Not yet. I'm in Positano. You sound like you're talking in an empty gym. A lot of echo. Sorry. I am a little bit sick, so maybe my voice sounds bad. Doing better now that MAXN came alive. Trying to have patience. There you go. Slow day. Green week up 360. Did well on TKLF yesterday. Nice job. First green month since I started in March. Have process and now confidence is good. Great work. Oh, sorry, guys. Does my MAXN in the 26 is gorgeous. Just freaking gorgeous, man. Now having a dip to the 25. So we'll keep this on watch, but really liking this volume. We'll see if this volume continues to come in. Just going green. This chart looks good. We'll see if they can continue to push this up. Once it gets to 30, I think it starts to get really interesting. If it can get to 30, it'll get really interesting. Tim says my voice is fine. Okay, well, we closed the doors anyway. MAXN drop in, guys. Please don't get hyper-focused on 1 minute candles. MAXN having a dip. It just had a nice move up. Now it's dipping. That's fine. A big drop on this would be something back to like the 23s, in my opinion. Like anything between 24.5 and 26 is pretty organic price action to me. So, yeah, I'm just chilling, just in MAXN right now, and I've been swinging some other stuff too. But there's one other stock I'm in the 7-figure cycle, but I'm going to keep that private for the cycle members. Sounds like you're getting over cold. I am, 100%. You guys know me well. I've been giving these webinars for like a year now. So let's switch this back to my face now. All right, Andy, get in here. Get in. The 7-figure trader. Andy, get in here, man. What up, dude?
What up, bro?
So how'd your day go? What'd you trade? What have you been trading since last time you guys spoke with the challenge members?
Been trading some Nasdaq like Zap and these cheapies. MAXN was a nice one. Cent. And then my most recent one was BDCC. It was a beautiful pump.
Let's talk about BDCC for a little bit. So let's talk about it. What do you got? What is BDCC? What was your thesis? What happened?
So it was the classic OTC pump and dump, and I re-shorted the breakout when they stair-step it, because after they re-break it out on the secondary breakout.
You lost me. Start over.
So I shorted the secondary breakout on the pump.
Why would you short a breakout though?
Because that's been the framework for the past year. So after they break it out the second time, after the first initial run-up and their first crash, if they save it and break it out again, then it's near the end cycle, and then you want to short up there so when it turns, you have size on.
Okay. Let's pull up a chart on BDCC here. So what you mean is you were shorting, do you consider this the breakout right here?
No, yes, right here. I'm showing, yes, that is a break.
So this is what you consider the breakup. So you don't like shorting the pump into this first wave, correct? You wait for it to dump, have a dip, and then you short it into the second breakout.
Yes.
Did this candle that closed at its lows solidify to you that you think it was going to kind of dump out? Is that how you were able to catch this huge gap down overnight?
Yeah, it was that, and it has like kind of 3 days of like exponential, like the green candles were more and the volume was like kind of extending, so you can say it was like extending itself for a little bit for like 3 days.
So you're talking about these candles had more upward buying pressure than let's say like these grindy candles right here. This kind of sped up to you?
Yeah, that was the speed up. Like the bars, even though it doesn't look like it because it was kind of wicky, but the bars were like had more range on it and more volume, so you can tell that was the speed up into the initial into the second tank.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, great trade, man. So you ended up shorting it here in the ones and covering all the way down here at 10-20 cents?
I did. I got super lucky. I got this go overnight. And I was telling everyone to short it too. I was telling Jack and Tim, but no one listened to me.
Yeah, as you guys know, I actually don't participate in short selling stocks anymore. So I ended up missing out on this trade. But, great job, man. How much did you make in profits?
Made about 16K.
16K keeps the 9 to 5 away.
That's right.
Yeah. So everybody congratulate Andy for an amazing 16K trade, nailing something that Tim Sykes in the challenge has been teaching students for decades. Tim originally got started trading these pump and dumps. He made his first million going long, his second million shorting these pump and dumps. So great job, Andy. And what else do you have for whatever? What else motivation do you have? How did you get here to making 16K in a day in Positano, hanging out with Tim and I? Well, how's the trip been, man? How's it been?
It's been amazing. I would say the view is nice, especially the food. So the food here is just amazing. The quality is super fresh, super good, and I feel like my food standard is like all the way up here now. It's not gonna be the same. Yeah, having an awesome time.
Yeah, look at everyone congratulating you. Everybody's showing some love.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, what's your next few goals for trading?
To be honest, I haven't thought that far yet. Just to keep trading, I guess, because I'm a DJ.
What do you mean you're a DJ?
I just can't stop looking at the screens.
Do you think that helps or hurts you?
I believe at some point, like right now, it definitely hurts me because I'm spending all my time on the screen, whereas I should be putting that time to hang out with friends and family more and have a better work-life balance. I think that's important too. And that area I have been working on lately. So I've been trying to balance that out more.
Better work-life balance. It's definitely a hard thing to have, man. It's once you stay super dedicated and you excuse me, guys, just getting over a cold, but once you find that work-life balance, it's hard to do because when you're addicted to trading, addicted to making money, addicted to the screens, it definitely is hard to break because it's just so much dopamine going through you when you have winning trades, when you have winning ideas, when you really just want to feel all juiced up for trading, Mm-hmm. So what steps are you going to take when you get home to kind of find more balance? How are you going to be proactive?
I'm gonna make a rule where I only trade an hour in the morning and an hour during the afternoon, so I won't sit too long, and then that way I can use that time to do other things. So I'm not, because it gets easy just to sit down and just watch something for the whole day. So I'm gonna put those rules in, try to follow them, and see what happens.
Nice. I like it. Let's hold Andy accountable to become less of a degenerate trader and more of a balanced man. Now that Andy is a 7-figure trader, he knows his patterns. He knows where he makes money. I knew he was going to make money on BDCC, and he knows what he's doing. But you don't need to take gambling trades. You can go live your life and find more balance, find new hobbies, take the next step in your life to develop more personal development, and really explore what else life has to offer besides trading and making money. So let's all hold this quick bags guy accountable.
Yeah, please. I need some accountability. It's kind of like going to a gym. You got your gym accountability buddy that keeps you in check, so you're not slacking. So I need my.
Sally Callie says, I'm 2 months new, learning lots from this. My first webinar. Hey, welcome, Sally. We're super excited to have you here. Someone said, Andrew, stop being a degenerate. Yeah, it's not Andrew. It's Quick Bags. That's his name in the room. So, on average, how many stocks do you watch at a time, Andy?
Say it depends on what the market is giving me, but I would say as of recently, probably like 3. But that's for me. But Jack has a lot because he has a lot in his playbook. So that depends on your like what you're trading, what your patterns are, and if it's there or not. So that varies to person.
Yeah. What other questions do we have for Andy, guys? Let's rip some questions for Andy. Andy's only going to be here this last webinar, and then he is sailing off back to his home state of Ohio, and we're not going to be able to take advantage of asking him questions. We're not going to be able to take advantage of asking a newly successful seven-figure trader in the bear markets of 2022, 2023, and 2024 of OTC bear markets, of overall choppy action, and you still got there. This is not a 2020 and 2021 student. Personally, for me, I'm a 2020 and 2021 student. This is a new breed. This is the new era of students. So this is important because he has made it recently, guys. Let's rip some questions for Andy here. I love seeing all the questions come in. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's go through all these. Do I take days off from trading? I do. I've probably taken 25 days off this year so far, mostly due to fishing or traveling or whatever it is. Maybe you covered it. What is your number one pattern? Low priced, high volume tickers are my number one pattern. Hi, Andy. What is your favorite long setups?
Favorite long setup? I would say multi-day breakouts and pending dip buys. Those offers, especially those multi-day, multi-week breakouts, they can offer some insane volatility to grow your account exponentially if you swing them.
Andy, what is your thoughts on NASDAQ longs? What is your approach to them in general?
For me, I like waiting for them to do the 1 to 4 day run-ups to see how high they can go. And then I like playing it after it pulls back, and it kind of shows out a little bit, where it gives you some nice risk reward, so you can get in for the retest or like the secondary breakout.
Nice. Andy, what do you use for scanners, and what do you find easiest to find stocks?
I use for scanners. So to be honest, I don't use any scanners. I just follow a lot of people on Twitter that gets me up to date on what's hot and what's running. And on top of that, I pretty much trade every day, so I have an idea of what's running every day. I'm always up to date. But if I had to use a scanner, I'll just use OTC markets and go through their filters. That's a pretty good way to do it too.
Nice.
And then what is in terms of what are you looking for?
Nick says, quick back, say hi to JD Vance. He's the new VP, and he's based in Ohio, if you didn't know.
Okay, what's up, JD?
Ask Andy what his skincare routine. Oh my God, we were just talking about this last night.
Skincare routine. How does he not have a skincare routine, though? That's crazy.
Huh?
How does he not have a skincare routine? That's crazy.
Look at you, buddy. Look at this.
Yeah.
I look like Gandalf the Great, and you look like you're 18 years old. How old do you guys think Andy is? What's your guess? Leave it in the chat room right now. How old do you think he is? Look at that skin. Let's see what they have to say. 24. Let's see what 22. Nope. 26, 25, 22, 16, 21, 18, 21, 19, 23. Low, he's Asian, 31, 25, 18, 27, 19, 22, 27, 20, 29. So.
Ooh, someone got it right. Told him to get that guy like a discount in the profit channel. He actually got it right. He got it right too.
So, Andy, how old are you?
I'm 27.
So he's 27. A lot of you guys guessed it. He's 27, so actually a year older than me. But I swear he don't know anything about anything. So you don't seem like he's 21 with the skincare and the knowledge. But 27 years old, millionaire trader, didn't go to college. Did you go to college, Andy?
No. It was either college or trading, and I picked trading.
You picked trading over college. Give me a fist bump for that. I did the same thing.
As for skincare, yeah, look up on YouTube. Here, let's type it into it. It's the Korean 10-step skincare. 10-step skincare routine. I don't use all of it. Like in the mornings, like 3, and then at night, like 7. But you kind of just like pick whatever you like and add it to your routine. But yeah, if you get that, get the glass skin. But going back, I think someone asked like, what do I look for my longs? For the longs, I like to look for like nice daily charts, kind of like Fannie Mae. I like Fannie Mae the most. It has the best chart.
We have a special guest entering the room.
Talking your skincare routine? What's the skincare routine? I missed it.
Somebody asked about it.
I thought I lost my phone. It was under my bed.
Oh my god.
Worst feeling in the world. What's up,
We got
guys?
Timmy Sykes here now. We got the Three Musketeers.
How's it going? Is everyone staying safe? The NASDAQ is down over 2% plus. The first 2 weeks of July are now over, so that amazing stat is now over. You have to adapt. NVIDIA and all the chip makers are getting crushed. IWM is spiking. Druckenmiller wins. Did you talk about Druckenmiller?
Not yet, no. So let's pull back up the charts here, guys, on Thinkorswim.
Do the IWM.
IWM is the Russell 2000, which is the quote-unquote growth index, or 2,000 small companies. And Druckenmiller was buying it into this consolidation. And we've seen a major increase in price over the last 6 days.
10%.
10% up. Druckenmiller has no small size in this, guys. And if you didn't know, if you look at the 3-year chart, the stock's basically been sideways. And somehow Druckenmiller knew to start buying this the last quarter.
And he sold NVIDIA.
And he sold NVIDIA, so
He protected. NVIDIA's tanking.
NVIDIA's tanking and IWM's going up. So this is why Druckenmiller is literally the greatest investor alive right now. Period. I don't care about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, he's great, but he doesn't transfer his money and follow the market trends. He just owns a huge position in Apple. He owns a huge position in Coca-Cola, McDonald's, obviously.
Druckenmiller's a trader.
Druckenmiller is an actual trader and short to midterm investor. So
And depending on your politics, everyone hates George Soros, but Druckenmiller was his number 2. Soros basically retired, went into politics, for better or worse. Now, Druckenmiller doesn't really do politics. He stayed trading, and we posted about it. He sold 75% of his NVIDIA. He sold it actually a little too early. He kept squeezing. I think he sold it around like 900 pre-split. Went up to like 1,300. But sold 75%, and he transferred to IWM. Why is IWM spiking? Because the rates are probably going to go lower at the meeting in September.
what is it, 95%?
Yeah, where Jack and I did a presentation a few weeks ago talking about the 7-figure cycles. Why is this going to be good for low price stocks? Because now small companies can now borrow because it's going to be more affordable, so they can grow faster. Hence, their stock prices should go up faster. So it's all related. You got to study the past. You got to know how this stuff works. Just have a background. You know that it's frustrating in the beginning. There's a lot of stuff. We're talking fast. Stocks are moving fast, but it gets easier over time. This is not rocket science. You can have a 2-hour skincare routine like Andy does. You can race cars in quads and boats and fish like Jack does. You can be like me and take on too many projects and be overwhelmed half the time. And it doesn't matter what you do in your spare time, because the market giveth opportunities galore. And the question is, are you going to be prepared to capitalize? Whether you're in the bathroom, whether you're on a fishing boat, whether you're in the freaking hut in Africa, wherever you are, the market is there, the opportunities are there, the trades are there, the profits are there, the pie is waiting for you to take the piece of the pie. Everyone loves pie, whether it's rhubarb pie, coconut pie, pumpkin pie, coconut cream pie, blueberry pie, apple pie, peach pie, cherry pie, fig pie.
Is that all, Tim?
Cream pie, chocolate pie, vanilla pie, pistachio pie. The pies are there. Who wants a slice of pie? Type in PIE. Say, I want my pie.
What's a banner?
Who wants a slice of pie? And how big of a slice do you want? It's up to you.
I want a huge pie.
You're taking your big pie
I
and
want a
MAXN.
huge pie.
And I hope your MAXN rises like the pie that's in the oven right now.
Oh, wait, that's a nice short. NVIDIA breakdown? That looks exactly like the AMD breakdown.
Don't try to guess companies that are that large. NVIDIA's tanking because of different government rules and taxes and tariffs on chips, not because of necessarily of that. Don't confuse a lot of these big companies with small companies and you say like, oh, look at this. It's the 7-step framework on like gold. It's very different when you're playing with the big boys versus the little boys and the promoters. Okay? Stick with the promoters. Stick with the small cap stocks. Don't try to apply everything to big cap stocks. You have to use your small size to your advantage. You guys all have a huge advantage trading small size. You can go in and out very easily. Jack is stressed out half the time just because of his big size. But if he takes small size, his account doesn't grow and then Jack gets frustrated. If he takes big size, his account can grow dramatically, but then he's stressed. There's no way to make Jack happy until he breaches 13 million convincingly, and then he will finally realize that he has made it. Do you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I've been trapped between 12 and 13 million
Trapped
for a year. And let's just pull up the profit chart so I can speak to you guys about...
Not that there isn't trading opportunities, but it doesn't move the needle for him. And that's what you guys have to understand. It's very different when you have a small account. He's made a lot, but he's also dealt with guilt pie. Jack has had a big slice of guilt and greedy pie, and he needs to eat that pie and return it because we don't want any more greed pie. He's had enough greed pie to last a lifetime.
So I crossed million. I crossed 12 million back in January 2023. Went up to 12.75 million. But as you can see, many losses along the way. Many six-figure drawdowns. Not used to this. Huge drawdown on a very bad trade. And then some time off and came back. More drawdowns. And then this day, made 500 grand in one day. Passed 13 million. Lost it all back to 12.5 million.
Greed pie. You had a big heaping of greed pie that day.
Then came back down to 12.4 million. Now back up to 12.8, the highest I've naturally been. So I can feel that 13 million. I'm trading safe to get that 13 million. Safe, not meaning that I'm not taking big position sizes. Safe meaning that if a trade goes against me, I'm getting the hell out of it. I'm not short selling. I'm not putting myself at risk to have six-figure drawdowns, because that's not what I want. And I'm continuing to minimize my losses and let my winners ride.
Let my winners ride. How does it feel to be so greedy? You got so greedy when you're over 13. You're up 500K today. You're like, more.
Like I can make $1 million. And if I make $1 million, I can make $2 million. And if I make $2 million, I can make $4 million. And if I make $4 million, I can make $8 million. Right? So there's always another level to the game. That's what I love about trading, is how hard it is. I love how there's always a new level to be achieved, and it's just an endless game. And
going back to the pie,
I fucking love it. I love it.
Not all pies taste good. Humble pie, greed pie, they don't taste good. But Jack got a big heaping of greed pie and humble pie, and now he's better as a result. He's wiser as a result. It's not easy to make 500 grand in 2 days, okay? And then it feels like crap to lose it. And I was just, it wasn't me, but I've lost $1 million before. I know humble pie. That was enough humble pie forever. Now let's see if Jack has had enough humble pie, or if he wants more humble pie because he's hungry. Do you want more humble pie? Do you need to eat more humble pie?
Greedy pie.
Greedy pie and humble pie are bad things, Jack. Okay? You want rhubarb. You want coconut, pumpkin pie.
I have been stuck
Shepherd's
between 0
pie.
and negative 1,000. I remember when I was stuck between 0 and negative 10K for years. So just there's another side to it, and you just need to keep hiking. And if you keep slipping, get back up and keep going and keep going. And eventually you're going to get over that peak. And when you get to the other side, you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side.
But it's going to be much more gratifying too. That's what you guys have to understand. When you lose, when you're stuck, It helps you build confidence. It helps you learn what not to do. And all of that is needed to get to the next level, okay? I don't know if you play video games, but like certain levels in certain video games, you can't get to the next level until you complete all the tasks of the previous level. So you might think that you're ready for the next level, but you don't necessarily have all the tools. And it's bad to get to the next level if you don't have the tools. Like, let's say Jack didn't lose the 500K there. And Jack's like, oh, new rules, I'm amazing. Let me just keep going. I want to get to 20 million. And then instead of losing 500K, he goes bigger. He doesn't cut the losses. He literally, how much would you have been down if you didn't cut those losses on FFIE at your peak?
I was short like 1 million shares from $1.10, and it went to like $4, so it would have been down.
You're down 3, but I think the broker would have cut you off before. So How much do you have in the brokerage account?
I had like 600 or 700 grand.
So they would have cut you off at like probably. Did they give you a warning at all, or it was all like intraday?
No, it was all intraday.
So like you probably would have, if you had held it. Let's say you didn't cut it. At the end of the day,
I would have gotten stopped out into the $2 squeeze and lost my whole account.
No, but not. You would have been stopped out by the broker. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's say you didn't have the humble pie. Let's say you didn't eat the humble pie. Let's say you didn't cut the losses, and you're like, Tim Bertani once upon a time was in the same scenario with Lake, and he said, tomorrow I'm going to drop the hammer no matter what happens. And I called him, and I was like, you don't drop that hammer. You never drop that hammer. And he cut the losses on Lake around 20, and it went to 30 over the next week. So he was dead wrong too. If you didn't cut the losses, like we're talking about 500K loss, it's terrible, but it actually was a great loss cut because it allowed him to still save face. Yeah, it sucked for a few weeks, but then you've come back already. If you did not cut that same day, you would have been down what? 800,000? They probably would have cut you off, but like they wouldn't have noticed.
They probably would have lost like 1 million.
So you would have lost 1 million. Then your account would be closed. Your confidence would be crushed.
Yeah.
And I don't think you would be in this situation now. You might take like 6 months off. Because like then you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm playing with like serious money here and I don't realize the consequences. So the 500K, we're all thinking, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. It's not the worst thing ever. It can always get worse. That's what you guys have to understand. When you're shorting, it can always get worse. And for a lot of people out there, this is why I've been warning, especially newbies. Jack is one of the best short sellers that I know, and he got squeezed. So did Kyle Williams. So did Lucas upstairs. Okay? So the best short sellers you know are getting squeezed. Think about how newbies would do.
Yeah, don't short sell, guys. Do not short sell. Let's transition into a question. Let me switch this back to the screen. That's enough from Tim. Quick bags.
I want more attention. Give me attention.
Not you.
How's my voice? How's my voice? Is my voice okay?
Quick bags. Remind us how long it took you to become consistently profitable, and was it on the long or short side?
It took me about 4 years, and it was only the long side. So after you long consistently, and then you got cushion, you build your account, and then you can slowly transition to shorting. Because shorting is a lot of fees, and you need a lot of capital too to make it work sometimes.
Let's pull up QuickBags' Profitly here.
NASDAQ is down 2.5% right now. No bounce whatsoever, fading even more. Uber's down 6%, Amazon's down 3%, Nvidia's down 6%.
It came close more accurate.
Nightmare day for a lot of different companies.
So wow, look at this. This is a very impressive profit curve. No real harsh dips. How were you able to do this, Andy? QuickBags. How were you able to stay so gradual on the way up?
So when I trade, I would have very tight risk and good risk reward whenever I enter. Like I like buying consolidations. That gives me like 1 to 5, 1 to 20, 1 to 10, and just good areas that can really grow your account. Then once you're right, you can keep adding. I think one of the things that helped me too was that when you're in a winning trade, instead of thinking where to sell, think of where I can keep adding more. It keeps working in your favor. So you can turn your 5x into 15x winners.
Okay. What were some of your biggest trades along your journey?
I'd say it was definitely Fannie Mae.
Fannie Mae, the classic one that Tim Gertani actually made, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on this stock throughout the years. So why don't you take over this and really explain what you saw on some of these trades on this one?
So if you guys pay attention to the daily chart, this is the 1 minute, right? No, that's the 1 year. I'm not familiar with that. This is the thing right there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so on the daily, when you guys see it consolidating like on multiple days like that, and when it gets super tight, these trades can really move your account. So you want to buy the consolidation perk, like right here, when it gets super tight. So you know it's going to pick a direction either way. So once it does, then you can join the trend. And then when it breaks out, it has massive volume and range, and you can really grow your account. So I would swing these type of setups. And Fannie Mae was a very clean mover. It just kept on breaking out over and over again, and has decent liquidity too.
And what happened when you were supposed to come to Dubai and you were in Fannie Mae, and how much were you up, and what did you do right and
Let's
wrong?
hear about the Dubai situation.
Yeah, so I got super greedy.
You had some of the greedy pie! The greedy pie!
Too much greedy
You're
pie.
a greedy pie.
Should have gone with Tim, but I was up like almost 200K at the top. and
$200,000!
I was thinking I might go 250, but guess what? It went to 160s. So I lost everything. No, I didn't lose everything, but like I took like a 12K loss.
So you were up $200,000, and you held it so long that you waited until you had a loss to exit? Didn't you feel it slipping away? You didn't sell any along the way?
No, because I really thought I was going higher, but I didn't know I had to win lower first.
You didn't sell any.
I didn't sell because I thought I was going higher, because I thought I was going to like have a higher low dip or something.
But you know you can peel off like 1/5, 1/8. Have you ever do that?
I did, but this time I got greedy. I was going for the home run.
Did you feel like you needed to make money because you knew that you messed up and you missed out on a trip to Dubai, and so you're like, I'll prove to Tim that I'm right?
Yeah, it was that too. So we can have something to talk about in Dubai.
But you missed Dubai.
I do. So the lesson here is always take profits, and if Tim has to go to Dubai, always say yes.
Especially when, just put this in perspective, when you're up $200,000, because it's worth really like understanding. Okay, what were you thinking when you were up $200,000? Okay, you say, okay, I think it's going higher, but your previous biggest win before the $200,000, how much were you up? Like, what's your previous biggest win before this one trade?
It was Fannie Mae and FMCC, so 148K.
So when you passed 148K in unrealized profits on this one, you knew it was going to be your biggest all-time trade.
Mm-hmm.
Were you tempted to sell any and be like, hey, 148 is the top, or do you want to be like, nope, I want more?
No, I was trying to go for a bigger P&L because I thought it would look cool.
So, at least he's honest, guys. At least he's honest.
It's like a video game. You're trying to get the highest score.
But you got to 200,000 in profits.
Yeah, I wanted more.
But you saw the number 200,000 on your screen. You saw it. You saw that it was 200.
You saw a multi-$100,000 trade, and you're like, nah, I want to go for 300.
Yeah, I saw the stars.
And this is what you
And
wanted.
you gave back your entire gain for a loss.
I did.
But this is what when you were up 500,000 on the week, and you saw you're up over 500,000. Because I understand. Listen, guys, I understand if you're up like 197,000, you want the 200,000. If you're up 497,000, you want. But you were up over 2, and you were up over 500, right?
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw 500,000 in profits on your screen?
I said, wow, here's Fifi. This is a perfect chart. Let me go huge position short and take the most amount of shares I've ever taken in my entire life on a short trade by far. And I think the stock's going to crash. And it didn't crash. It kept going up.
So both of you thought Fannie Mae was going to keep going up. You thought Fifi was going down. Because this is the point that I'm trying to make. I know many of you
we both made hundreds of thousands of dollars and lost all of it within a week.
But I wasn't even going to say that. You guys, I know that it sounds amazing to talk big figures, but rationally speaking, the way that these guys became millionaires was because they can push it. It's a double-edged sword. Without being able to push it, Andrew's not a millionaire. Without being able to push it, Jack doesn't make nearly double what I've made in a third of the time. So we can sit here all day, don't get greedy, simple rule. But at the same time, in order to make their big money, they've had to push it. What I want you guys to learn is that it's good to push it if you have the data, if you have the experience. But at some point, you also have to recognize stories like this and start peeling some back. I'm not saying sell all because I don't have that killer instinct where like, I don't push it. I always take singles. So you'll never see me make another $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. I did in the past. Now as a teacher, I like taking singles.
What's your biggest trade, Tim?
So my biggest trade, I got lucky somewhat. It was in 2004, Asian tsunami, Taylor Devices. The stock was spiking. Everyone thought that their earthquake absorption equipment, they were going to get all these contracts. They're a bankrupt company. It doesn't matter how many tsunamis or earthquakes there are, they have no money. So it was like, wait a minute, this stock is already up from 1 to 6. I started shorting basically like 100,000 shares, $600,000, covered around 8, lost basically $180,000. I think maybe it was like 780 or something. Lost 180 grand. I was still up on the year. It was towards the end of the year as a hedge fund. I had a small hedge fund of like, I think it was around 2 million, maybe 2.5.
You're willing to lose 10% of
well,
your hedge fund?
I didn't want to. Like you,
Why'd
I
you
thought,
keep holding
I thought it was going down.
Why would you short 100,000 shares?
Well, I averaged up to get it to 6. I was averaging up, but the stock was spiking faster than I could average up. Okay, I wouldn't just steward 100,000 shares and be like planting my flag like this is the top. I started shorting too soon. It went to 8. I covered it. I was still up, I think, a little bit on the year, but like it ruined like 3/4 of my yearly performance. I think I was up like 300, maybe 400 grand on the year. So it really sucked. It kept going. I think it hit a high, I want to say, of like 11 or 12. And then it started to turn around. And I reshorted the same 100,000 shares and I made back $220,000.
And how much would you have made if you held?
And then it went down, even more, and it collapsed back down to 1. So, theoretically, I could have made $1 million. Instead, I made $220. Worst $40,000 I've ever made. But the $220 was in a day, and I salvaged my year, and I salvaged my self-respect. What you can learn from this is that any play can go further than you think. Reality doesn't matter.
No. What I'm interested in my introspective psychological is, why do the biggest wins and the biggest losses always happen near each other? Why is it like I'm making 500, losing 500, Andy's making 200,000, losing it all, and Tim's losing 200, then making 200?
Because we know that these are giant supernovas. If you study this stuff at all, you know that like it's got a giant bullseye. Like you're like, wow, this is the time to really push it. You can make the most because of the volatility, because of the patterns. But why I want to share this on a webinar is hopefully you can learn from all 3 of our mistakes here and say, okay, wait a minute, this might be a great setup, but let me just take a step back a little bit, not bet so big, not be so confident, because 3 of these great traders all got too confident. And I could bring up 50 traders here. We'd all have similar stories. When you have these great plays, it's good to get excited, but it's also good to just take a step back and think rationally for a little bit, just in case you get a little too excited. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm. I think the best thing that you can do, something that I want to implement into my trading, is if I have any trade over $300,000, $200,000, whatever it is, anything that's going to make me go super euphoric, which I've handled $100,000 wins pretty well now, but anything like 2, 3, 4, 500,000. I just will gamble the next day with mega size. So taking 50 to 70% of your profits and wiring those out or putting those into some other investment, because oftentimes if you have some type of euphoria, you're just gonna run it back the next day and you're gonna screw it up with too big a size, too much confidence, too much risk. And I think it's still good to trade, but you need to control your size after a huge win. How many of you in the chat room have dealt with something like this? I'm going to switch back to the chat room here. How many people in the chat room have dealt with something like this? Let's see what the answers are.
What is that music out there? Why does it sound like someone's like trying to mess with our brains with alien technology?
So loud.
Oh, it's a good song. I like that song.
That's a good song.
I rub outside and I take a deep breath and I kick real high enough. I will say, you know, the biggest gain and the biggest loss that I had were same day. Same with Jack. Andy, that wasn't your biggest loss. It just wasted your biggest profit. Lucas, who's upstairs, he also got screwed up on FFIE. One day he lost $500,000. The next day he said he wasn't going to trade. I woke up and he's downstairs. He's down $250,000. So he's down $750,000. Then at dinner, FFIE crashed and he made 1.2. So overall, he made $500,000 in a terrible way. He'll be first to admit it. The difference between him and Jack and Kyle on that trade is he stuck with it because he had a bigger account size. Jack couldn't get back in because he was out of buying power, right?
Yeah. So after I took the $400,000 loss, the next day I lost another $100,000, and then the day after that I lost my final like 60 or 70K or whatever it was.
But this is the thing. So this is what I'm saying. When you see a giant bullseye, take a lot of breaths, maybe close the laptop, be okay with missing it because you recognize there's a lot of opportunity, but there's a lot of risk if you screw it up. So you don't want to just take a big risk without really understanding all of the risks and understanding it more in depth. Rather than all of us, we just get so excited because some of these plays are so much better than the average everyday minutia that we deal with.
So Himini says yes. K Fox yes. One person says no. We'll be weary of it happening. And then a few people said I had that experience. Day 1, 1,500. Day 2, negative 2,100. The biggest loss I have is 65,000. That's not good.
So we're all different. And again, we're talking about big sums here. But everyone has their own level.
Everybody has their own level. $700 and giving back $450. It's all unacceptable. It's all unacceptable, guys. So you have to recognize when you have a big win, you're going to make mistakes. Okay? That's the only thing you get out of this webinar. Write it down. If you have a big win, if you have your biggest win ever, wire money out. Take that money away. Do not let yourself give that money back to the market because we want to keep trading. We want to keep making money. We want that feeling again of making that huge profit, of destroying it, of hitting new highs. We all are humans. We love performing. We love making money. We love doing any type of very good performance. So remember this lesson from this webinar. Please, guys, I don't want to hear any more of these horror stories. For me, I don't want this ever to happen again either. I've done it so many times, guys, but I've never done it as dramatic as I did it on Fifi and AMC and GME, making $500,000, losing $500,000. It's just the worst feeling in the world.
And the reason why we share this stuff is so you can learn. Like, it's good to have these frames of reference, whether it's a few $100,000 or, there's other traders where they've done this with millions or even tens of millions of dollars. So there's so many different levels to this game. But whether you're starting out, even if, let's say, your biggest gain is $100 and then you flipped it to a $200 loss, and that's a lot, that's fine. It's all about recognizing that you can do better because these great opportunities are going to come about again and again and again. Maybe not with the Asian tsunami that was 20 years ago for me, but at the same time, there will be amazing outliers, and you should be prepared because if you do trade them, not even like perfectly, but just like take them into the move without screwing up, there's still a lot of record gains to be had. But you have to be careful with your excitement levels. That's what you really have to do. You have to control your greed.
Yep, that is the root to all evil is excitement levels, euphoria, dopamine, and wanting some of that greedy pie.
Wanting too much.
Wanting too much.
We've all talked about this because, look, I say that it's a pie. Sometimes I say fire a whale. The market is so hot. There's so many plays. If you're not catching it, you feel like you're missing out. Missing out is part of it too. When you miss out on a play for whatever reason, maybe you have the wrong broker, you haven't studied enough, you're too late, it's moving too fast, you're uncomfortable. There's a lot of ways to screw this up. But all of those things, it's not a bad thing. It's just part of your journey. And you feel discouraged because everyone wants profits. If you don't have profits, you feel like you're bad, right? It doesn't matter if you learn 5 important lessons that you'll take forever. You have the loss and you feel like crap. But I want you to think a little differently where you have a huge checklist of lessons that you have to learn, losing big, missing out, screwing up. These are good lessons. The lessons that Jack have, the lessons that Andy have, the lessons that I have, they stick with us and they help us go forward so that on every future trade, we're better. So don't be afraid of screwing up so dramatically, especially if you're trading small in the beginning. Be afraid of not getting the experience. Be afraid of not learning these lessons. Be afraid of a perfect play coming right now and you not being ready because you haven't done all the groundwork. All of this stuff is groundwork to your future. Every single day, every single trade, good trade, bad trade, missed trade, fast trade, dead on trade, profit, loss, it all adds up to your experience so that you're better prepared. The more experience you get, the sooner, the better prepared you'll be in the future. Be fearful if you're unprepared. Everyone always prays for the next hot stock. You want the next play. I pray for a slow market. I pray for a deadly market with no good plays so that you have no excuse but to study. You have nothing else to do. Most of you have small accounts. You're not living life. You're not maximizing the opportunity. You don't know what you don't know yet. You have to learn what you don't know. And that comes from play after play. But if you don't experience those plays in person yourself, you can study these guys. They're sharing their trades. I'm sharing my trades. You can study the past. We have more knowledge in this generation than any human in the history of human civilization. Do you realize how much knowledge you can put inside this brain? We're using a small part of our brain. It's like the movie Lucy. We're going to keep going faster and faster, and we're going to end up as a big blob because that's the future, and AI will take over. But until AI takes over, we're humans. Hear us roar!
That was epic. Let's go. I fucking love it. So that was honestly, even though he was screaming, everything he said was fucking amazing.
Man, you gotta let him cook.
Let him cook! You guys have to understand, no one has ever talked about all of this stuff. No one has ever compiled all of these lessons for you. But the lessons aren't going to study themselves. You have to put in the time. So if I can get through to some of you, the reason why I'm passionate, the reason why I work so hard is because I know the upside. Jack, Andrew, myself, none of us are that smart. We're not that great at math. We've just studied and we prepared to capitalize. Many of you are playing a game of catch-up. Catch up. That's what this is. Every one of you has to catch up. Study the DVDs, the video lessons, the webinars. What helped you guys the most? Video lessons, DVDs, or webinars?
It was the combination, but I would say the DVDs and then the webinars, the live ones definitely helped too after the DVDs.
It all combines. What about you, Jack?
This exact situation going on right now. Webinars with all these different teachers, right? You have a fresh millionaire. You have a 8-figure trader from COVID. You have a multi-decade teacher and trader from 2000 to 2024. You have so much knowledge right here in a live webinar, getting to ask any questions you want, being engaged with the webinar because it's live. You're not doing anything. You're sitting here watching. We are real. It is July 17th.
I'm really hitting him. I really just hit him. He really felt that. I hit this guy too. I would hit you if you were here too. I mean, just push this inside of your brains. I need to get through to you. It's like a freaking earthquake. We're here next to Pompeii. The volcano's going off, but it's a volcano of knowledge.
All right. Fucking laptop's about to break.
You guys have so much opportunity. Where are the questions? Bring on the questions. I want 10 good questions right now.
It's overcooking right now.
I did a TED Talk. I did the worst TED Talk in history. How I talked about how if you get too rich, you don't find life fulfilling anymore. Go Google Tim Sykes' TED Talk. It didn't hit.
Broke the whole
It broke the whole
That's the best karma yet. Give me some karma for that, bro.
I'm doing the karma.
Shia LaBeouf screaming, just do it! Just do it! Okay? You guys have to understand the potential. I'm screaming at the top of my freaking lungs.
Where do you buy your coffee?
We have a chef. I've had 4 double cappuccinos today. It's not sugar. It's ambition, baby. It's understanding the opportunity. The table can't hold it. You can't deal with it. These guys are scared. They're laughing through their tears. There's so much opportunity. You guys even freaking realize it. You don't. You're wasting it. You're not studying enough. You're not studying nights. You're not studying the weekend. You're not studying as much as you should. I see how little you guys study.
All right. I'm fired that these guys are. Who's about to go study for the next 24 hours straight? I mean, I would if I were you guys.
Study 36 hours straight. 24 hours is for the week. Jack had mono and strep, and he traded through it. Do you guys understand? You're not limited anymore. There's unlimited technology. There's unlimited opportunity. There's unlimited education. The challenge has more information than ever before possible. You guys don't understand what you have access to. You can study it all. You can learn from dozens of millionaires. It's not just me anymore. I'm not on anything. These aren't drugs. This is recognizing the potential and trying to get through to you guys. How do I get through to you? How do I get you guys to study? How do I get you guys to watch a video lesson or a DVD or a webinar from 5 years ago? Because it's the same patterns. I know. Andy's eardrums. He's a little man. I know. We have to protect him.
What are your days?
I don't know how to work this non-Apple computer.
Like this, 2 fingers to scroll, 1 finger to click, left click, right click.
I burned a few calories. We had one of the best lunches ever today with a view of the freaking Thracian Sea.
Was that the C?
Yes, it's not the Mediterranean Sea. We're on the Thracian Sea. Lucas showed me. You know that? This is not the Mediterranean Sea.
Well, we're actually on the Mediterranean Sea.
I had to Google it. I hope that you lose your hearing. Then you have less life to live outside of this. We'll fix your hearing with some advanced technology in the future. But while you're struggling with lack of hearing, then maybe you can study more. We have closed captioning, okay? There's so much that you guys can study. That's what I want you guys to understand. We're talking about trades from years ago, decades ago. They still apply. I'm a glorified history teacher, okay? These guys are nerds. I just tweeted this. This is the generation where it's revenge of the nerds. How do I get through to you guys? Seriously. I know when you're starting with a small account, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of upside. But the beautiful thing about trading is that with a small account, with a small amount of knowledge, you can grow your knowledge and you can grow your trading exponentially. Jack's Roth IRA started just a few months ago. Granted, he has a lot of knowledge and expertise, but he started it with $10,000. Like what, 10 weeks ago?
I had about like 40 grand at the beginning of May. And I had about 10 grand at the beginning of the year.
And now he has over $500,000 in that account. 10 grand to 500 grand. Not just 10 grand into 50 grand, which most people would say is impossible. 10 grand into 500 grand.
And we're not stopping!
Are we on the camera still? I don't know how to check that. The upside potential is ridiculous when you really take this seriously. There won't be ridiculous upside if you don't take it seriously. If you treat this like a hobby, like, oh, I want to learn a little something. Hobbies might be fun little pastimes, but they don't make money. They cost money. Like, oh, I'll play golf once a month. Oh, I like it. Oh, I'll garden here or there. Oh, I'll go skiing. Hobbies cost money, okay? But if it's a business, the goal of the business is to make money. So you need to treat trading like a business. You're just starting your business. Talk to Prime, get your tax situation figured out. Study these videos, get your knowledge situation figured out. Try different brokers, get your brokerage situation figured out. It's not one size fits all. People are like, what's the best brokerage? What's the best pattern? You have to try. You have to test. You have to see this is a good broker. You have to see this is a bad broker. You have to try this pattern. You have to try this pattern. You have to test a lot in the beginning to find what works best for you. We talk about what works best for us. I talk about what works best for dozens of my top millionaire students, but trading is a very individual game. Jack is practicing his breaststroke right now. I don't know what's going on. Small losses are fine in the beginning. Jack was losing in the beginning. Andy was losing in the beginning. I started during a mania, made too much. I had to lose in year 8.
If you guys are taking small losses in the first 3 years, you're doing it. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That is literally exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And then if you're starting to make consistent profits and you're starting to have bigger and bigger wins, then that's exactly also what you're supposed to be doing. It's all a process, guys. It's all a process.
And you have to be willing to lose. You have to be willing to study. You have to be willing to adapt, okay? Most people just want exact rules. They want exact patterns. They want this to be exact. It's not.
I got to go like Kristen.
The stock market is not exact. Your journey is not exact. The market is always changing based on, different economies, technologies, manias, indexes. You really got to start to learn, okay, I'm here. The market is here. Where can I go in the next 5, 10 years? I know you just want to think about what you can achieve in the next 5, 10 months. But I know based on history of my now 40 plus millionaire students, 5 to 10 months, good. No month doesn't matter. Like it's all useful as part of your journey. But it's what can you really accomplish over time when you compound your knowledge, when you compound your brokerage account. Jack doesn't take a $10,000 Roth IRA and turn into 500,000 plus without a lot of knowledge first. He might start with 10,000, you might start with 10,000, but his knowledge account is infinitely bigger. So you can't just compare dollars to dollars in trading. It's what's up here. How much knowledge do you have? Jack can crush anybody with the same size dollar amount because he's been studying so hard. His knowledge account is through the roof. You need to grow your knowledge account before you can grow your monetary account. Would you agree? If you started with 10,000 and one of these newbies started with 10,000, who would win?
I'd crush everyone.
Because his knowledge account is bigger. Not to demean you, just to help you understand that, he has put in so much time. I need to get water. Hold on.
It's different, though. If I'm at a loss for words. That was really special what Tim did the last 20 minutes. Seriously, guys. To have a teacher that enthused after 20 years, 25 years of trading, still that enthused, still that motivated, to show up here and put on that type of teaching, that type of enthusiasm, that type of everything, that type of knowledge, it's I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say, guys. It was crazy. What do you think, Andy? Hop in here with me.
I think of what Tim just did, or
what do you think of Tim just did?
Yeah, I think it's crazy how he still has motivation every day just to go at it with his students and everyone else, because he ultimately he wants you guys to succeed too, and he's always in it for the best interest for you guys. So
the best interest for you guys, the best interest for his charity, the best interest for people that he just met, his family, his friends, everyone. Huge heart. He cares about you guys. He wants to see you guys succeed. He wants to see us succeed.
He wants to see the whole world succeed. He wants to see the whole world become a better place. So that's where he gets the enthusiasm. It's not any drugs, guys. I've never seen Tim do any drugs. He's super sensitive to drugs. He would never do that. It's zero drugs. It's just who he is. It's who he is. So I don't know how to follow up something like that. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So maybe somebody ask me a question because I really I can't talk right now. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's flip back here. Yes, Jack, Tim Sykes is a different breed. I will be enrolling in Jack's 7-figure cycle real soon. Can't wait. That's awesome to hear. Tim loves us, man. That he does. I want to be in the 7-figure cycle, but I'm sticking to learning the basics first, so I don't want to waste his time or mine. I want to learn to make good money. The 7-figure cycle is a great way to help you to see the process. Yeah, Tim definitely drinks a lot of coffee. This is the third time I'm writing this question. Hi, Jack and Andy. How do you react when a stock breaks through a multi-day resistance, but then the bulls fail to maintain the new high? What do you think, Andy?
Reacts through multi-day resistance. And then it just depends on what it does afterwards. Like, let's see. I'm not going to say for NASDAQ, but for OTC specifically, it depends on how fast it reclaims. If it reclaims super quickly, then it can still go. But if it doesn't reclaim, it gets heavy, it stays under it, and has a hard time, then it starts fading, then you might want to start selling it. But if it reclaims super fast, then it still has a chance to go. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be exact, but as long as the trend still holds, then it still has a chance. I can't speak for NASDAQ because I'm slowly transitioning, but maybe hopefully next year.
Yeah, I would say that oftentimes there's a fake out sometimes on new high day and multi-day resistance. So you just got to make sure the level is supported. I think it's fine to pre-anticipate. I think it's fine to buy the breakout. I think it's fine to buy after the breakout. Somebody said, Jack, what's your entry and risk on MAXN again? I don't really want to get too much into detail on the MAXN trade because it is a 7-figure cycle trade. So I don't want to, kind of give away all the secrets here because I do value my 7-figure cycle members. But I have multiple plans and multiple different risks, multiple different targets. So I have my position. I'm in from sub 24, so it's a great entry, and my risk and reward are going to be determined based on the price action moving forward. This is going to be a few day swing for me most likely. So someone says adding MAXN here. Nice. Where's it at? MAXN dipping back down to the support. So yeah, good spot to add into the support level. Good job not chasing stocks. It's good to buy dips. Please talk about your charting software. It's just Thinkorswim with Schwab, guys. Last month you said watch all your old Webbies when you had 50 times. I had been watching a few each day and got through 27 of them in between and the DVDs in the markets. Thanks for all you do. Amazing work, Jimbo. That is amazing, man. 27 webinars in a week. Round of applause for that guy. Really getting it done, man. Got through half of them. So watch them again. Watch the rest of the 23 webinars. And then guess what? Watch them again. Watch them again until you know the exact word that's going to come out of my mouth before I even speak. Jack, I watched the mindset video where you gifted your parents 100,000. You're a good dude. Thank you, Stockco. Jack, just so you know, I was able to pay myself the tuition on your 7-figure cycles with the first 3 or 4 trades with you. Thank you. Amazing, Peter Gregg. I mean, that is just exactly why I do it. That is exactly why I do it. Seeing successful stories like you, people understanding my trades, understanding where I'm going to enter, executing better than me on some trades, and really just using my thesis to create your guys' own trade plans and nail setups with me. In your last webinar, you talked about hammer candles and shooting stars. Do you use them to signal entry into the trade? I do. When you look into those stocks' history, the history of going supernova, let's say 4 years ago, but nothing in the previous 3 years, would you still treat the stock as the same runner with multiple supernovas in recent history? Also, if a stock went supernova in the $1 to $10 range is now the same stock between 1 cent and $10, is it still viable given how low it is?
Yes. If a stock has run before and it's a former supernova, it would 100% be prioritized over a stock that's not a supernova. Starter maximum 2475, 4,000 shares long. Okay.
Answer this. So, someone's like, Fannie Mae. So in the consolidation, do you buy on the first green day on the chart spike and consolidate for a long time? They can see this, right?
I think so, yep.
Okay, so how you zoom in? Oh, that's how you zoom in. Yeah, so right here, like on this day right here, you would buy that perk. I would already have like the majority of my position in here. I would say like 70 or 80 on that day it broke and actually held. And then you can add more on the second day too, but usually on the first day of break, I have the majority of my position.
Somebody says, can you please talk about adding to winners, adding to weakness for strength? Any trade example would be much helpful. Thank you for the teaching. And do you want to go over? Why don't you go adding to winners on a different chart? What was another good trade you had?
Let me see here. DEFTF. First green day.
Oh, wow. Look at this thing. 150s.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good swing yesterday. What the hell? Nobody even brought it up to me. Perfect green day. Closing at the highs, gapping up. Free 10 cents. Sorry, guys. Right here, Andy? Where was it?
It was that day, yeah.
Okay.
Is that the 1 minute?
That's the hourly chart.
Can we do 1 minute?
Jeez, so needy, dude.
They gotta see everything all the time.
Look at this. Andy literally making sure so you guys can get the perfect view. It's right here, right?
Yeah, that's the day right there.
Take it away, buddy.
So this first green day, I bought it at the open because if you pay attention, every day that it has a red day, it would always morning panic and make new lows. And I picked this day specifically to buy it, and I was confident because this was where the breakout started from. And on top of that, in the morning, there wasn't a lot of selling. There was a little bit, but they didn't break the day lows, and it just held. So I got a lot of my size in the morning right there, and then once it kind of like spiked and pulled back, I had to my winner because that was VWAP, and this was, if I can scroll, yeah, I'm not used to Thinkorswim, guys. I'm used to E-Trade Pro. This was yesterday's.
You can grab this bar down here to scroll.
Oh, I can't. That's helpful. This area right here, this is previous resistance turned to support too, and it was holding VWAP, and it looked like it's going to morning spike. So I had to my winner. So most people would have probably sold here, but for me, if the trade is working and the trend is still strong, I like to turn those like areas where I would sell into more of an add. So like I'll just keep adding to my winner, and then ultimately you can sell up here. This area is very important too because if you look back at how do you do 14 days?
What do you want?
15 minute, 14 days.
14 days?
15 minute, 14 days.
Let's do a 20-day 15.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, I sold there because the 140s, 130s, that was where it has a lot of resistance. And that was the trade. Just quick morning. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes all it takes is an hour in the morning. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes they kind of build, go sideways. But if they give it to you that quick in the morning, especially in OTCs, then you should always take that. I ultimately sold the rest up into there, and that was the trade. BDCC. That's the only other thing I took. Yeah. What facts cause you to sell Fannie? I get that question. I just sold it because it was taken and from my below my entry, it didn't go higher. I got super greedy. The lesson there is to always take profits. Let me see here. Let's see. Favorite time frame to use? I like the 1 minute, the 1 minute intraday. I like the daily chart too. The daily, like I like to look at the history of stock to see what I did in the past. Because what it does in the past, it will tell you what it will do in the future too. I like the 15 minute, 14 days to look at the overall trend. If I'm buying or swinging stuff, that's very helpful. But yeah, I use 1 minute, 15 minute, and then daily chart. Then I know a lot of people rarely use this, but the weekly chart can be useful too for spotting trend. But do you guys use any technical visual indicator?
Okay, guys, 2 more questions. FCCN, what's your thoughts about FCCN, Andy?
I think it's a pump and dump.
You think?
I'm trolling. It is a pump and dump. It's definitely a pump and dump. I think it's a pump and dump, and this is the initial run up. They saved it a few times. 270, that's the area, and then they topped it. To me, I honestly think this looks like a head and shoulders. So they initially, like, they run it up. You can say this is like the first crack, and then they tried again, but it failed. So this is the left shoulder, that's the head, and then now if this bounce kind of like goes up to here but doesn't break 5, that's the head and shoulder pattern. I think of that, it'll be a good short up here. And then if it can't break 5, then you can short it here, and then once it starts rolling and failing, it should be dead, especially once it cracks 3 and 270. I think the end is soon. The volume's fading and this bounce looks kind of weak. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be exact like science. It doesn't have to be like the same level. It can be a little bit lower, but once it starts rolling and breaking levels, it's over. Like on pump and dumps, they like to keep the levels very nice and clean. But once the level starts to break, then they just get liquidated. Want to pick the next question?
7-figure cycle booming. Hell yeah. Let's see. We are killing it in the 7-figure cycle. Thank you. How long do you plan on running it? As long as I keep getting positive feedback, I'll keep doing it.
I feel bad. There's so many questions to answer.
Yeah, we can't answer them all. We've already gone over the time limit anyway. Someone asked one more question. That's really good. I don't know. The first question I see after this, I'm going to answer. The first question, whoever can type in the fastest after 12:29, the first question gets answered as the last. Let's see who is paying attention.
Oh, there it is.
What is it? I would say the one when charting on 1 minute. Go ahead. Read it out loud.
When charting on 1 minute, what helps you time a dip the best before it turns?
Hammer candles and volume extension. That's for me, like volume exhaustion and hammer candles. Exactly what I started talking about in the 7-figure cycle. Has the 7-figure cycle changed your outlook on trading? I don't know what you mean by that. It's definitely helps me be more loss conscious because I don't want people following me into stupid trades. So if something starts going down, I fuck out. What do you think of AZI first green day and it's holding higher right now? AZI. What's the f***ing ticker, guys? God damn it. AZIA. I don't know what the ticker is. I can't find it. We're going to end the webinar here, guys. We're just going to end it here. This has been a crazy webinar. Insane webinar, guys. So we're going to end it here. What do you have to say to the folks at home, Andy?
I would say keep studying, keep doing what you're doing. It's worth it because everything compounds and it'll all work out. Anyone who doesn't believe in you, you gotta believe in yourself. And if they don't, then I believe in you.
Yeah, that was amazing. I will see you guys back on regular webinar schedule probably next Friday or next Thursday or something. I'm not sure what day yet. I'm going to have to look at my schedule. But I'll be on by myself next week. So I'm going to miss these guys. I'm going to miss giving the webinars with a group. But back to the regular Jack webinars isn't always a bad thing. I will see you guys on the next one.